soap, so when the sun catches me, I'm like naturally glistening. If you're looking for some spring makeup inspiration, then girl, you've come to the right place. Hey girl, welcome back for another video. So today I really wanted to bring you guys a spring makeup look. So if you got your makeup, bring your makeup out. Maybe you can practice with me or get a drink, get a snack, and come hang out. Okay, so when I think about spring makeup, I think of bright colors, pops of colors, and I really wanted to play with color today. I do have a lot of new products that I'm going to be trying out, so if that's something you're interested in, you want to see what I've got, then keep watching. Also, if you're brand spanking new to my channel and you're not subscribed, girl, smash that subscribe button, join the family. I do upload 3 times a week, so I'm sure you're going to find something that you love on here. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to first start off with the brows, and I'm going to zoom you in a little bit closer. Now, for brows, I've got 2 different products. This is the CoverGirl Brow Pomade, and this is the CoverGirl Brow Ultrafine Pencil. So these both colors are in the dark brown shades, or I think it's called rich brown. Yeah, that's what they call it. But it's basically the color of my brows. Now, on the brow pomade, this is what it looks like here. It kind of reminds me of Benefit's Ka-Brow, you know what I mean? It also comes with a little brush right here. I'm not a big fan of this brush, so I'm going to use my own angled brush. Just dip this in here. This is a Morphe R44, so make sure if you do use an angled brush, it's pretty thin. That way it's not going to give you like super harsh brows. One thing that I really like about this brow pomade is that it fills in your brows really nicely and it looks really natural. That's like a major thing for me. So I'm just using this to outline the bottom and the top, and then I'm sweeping my brush in an upwards motion to kind of just fill it in and blend it out. And then I'm going to be using a spoolie to brush everything out and make sure it's even. Okay, so my brows are almost done. I'm just going to go in and fill in the front and the tail with the Ultrafine Brow Pencil. And I'm going to go in with a really light hand, guys. You don't need to go overboard when you're just filling in. All right, so next up for the eyes, I've got this lid lock-up eyeshadow primer from CoverGirl, and I have to tell you guys, I did use it once already, so I want to prepare you guys. When it goes on, it's going to look ashy on my lids. That's the best way I can describe it, but it's okay because we're going to cover that up. As long as it can hold my eyeshadow, I don't really care. You know what I mean? If I wasn't going to put eyeshadow in a certain area, then, you know, it will be a problem. This is the little applicator. It's got a doe foot applicator. I'm just putting it on right where I get the oiliest, and then I'm going to buff it out with this little brush right here. And of course I want to set that really quickly with some setting powder from Fenty Beauty. Okay, so see what I mean about the ashiness here? Don't worry, it's gonna be just fine. So first of all, I had to bring out like an oldie but goodie palette, the Nubian 2. I haven't reached for this in quite a while, so I'm really excited. I'm gonna go in with this orange color here, Maraco. And I'm really trying to cover up where that eyeshadow primer was, or is. And don't worry, it's gonna fade. Okay, so now that I have my orange color all laid out, and by the way, I gotta say, I forgot how pigmented that Juvias Place palette is. Oh damn, yes, this is bomb. So if you guys like those Juvias Place palettes, please let me know down in the comments. I mean, I think they're great. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and carve my crease out. I'm using a MAC 248, and you can use any concealer. This is the Makeup Revolution concealer. Okay, so now you can see how that looks, and we're gonna layer some yellow on top of these babies. I'm gonna start with some of these colors in here from the NYX Brights palette, and I'm gonna go into this deeper yellow shade. And these have like a lot of like kickback, so just make sure, you know, that you blow or tap away the excess. Okay, so you guys can see a little bit right here that I've got my base color down, but these NYX shadows aren't like amazingly pigmented. So I'm going to go ahead and add another yellow shade on top. But the only yellow shade close to that I have is a shimmer shadow. And I'm gonna go into this color here, Nairobi, and the Nubian 2 palette. And then I'm going in with some Urban Decay Liquid Moon Dust in the shade Space Time. Wow, that actually looks really nice, if you can see that right there. Okay, so there we have it. It's not perfect, but you know what? For my first time, it's not too bad. I love it. It kind of looks a little bit carnival-y, but I'm feeling it. So I'm gonna move on to the actual liner. So CoverGirl has some new liners. Their black one, this is the number 325, and this little tip here is so freaking precise, girl. It's amazing. So I'm just gonna do a regular liner. I'm not gonna do a wing or anything. Just wanna keep it simple in the liner area. Wow, actually, you know what really surprises me is because this liner brush is so thin, I'm able to get extremely close to my lashes, which I love because sometimes I just want a little bit, not too much liner, just enough to make my eyes look big, but not to overpower my hooded eyes, you know what I mean? All right, so now we're moving on to some mascara. And I know that when I did my live stream the other day, one of you guys told me that you really like the Peacock Flare CoverGirl, and I'm using the waterproof one, hoping that this does my lashes some justice. All right, I'm not really sure how I feel about that one. I feel like it didn't really do too much, but my lashes are tiny. I'm gonna pop on some lashes from Salon Perfect. They're the Demi Wispies. They're like my favorites. You can get them at Walmart. I've talked about them a million times, but just in case this is the first time, just wanted you to know. Okay, so now that I've got my lashes on, we can move on to the rest of the face. So for primer, I'm gonna go in with my Tatcha Silk Canvas, and I actually really like this. It took a little bit of getting used to, but if you've tried this, you know that when you first apply it and you have deeper skin, it does create like a cast, but it does make your foundation go on really nicely. So, you know, it's a little bit of a sacrifice there. Now I'm going to use this new foundation. It's new to me. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. I know it's been around for a while. This is the shade Y455. I don't know if it's going to match me, okay? So don't come for me if it doesn't match identically, but you know what? I just figured, got this in, let's just give it a try. This might be a little bit light, but you know what? I think I can work with it. Ooh. Wow. Obviously, if you look at my forehead, this is not the right shade, but it does look really ashy. I know I don't have the right shade, but this is not what I expected. And it was actually quite sheer. Let me go ahead and get a better foundation. Sometimes you gotta stick with what you know, and that is my Nars Natural Radiant. And I'm just going to mix that in on top. All right, so I managed to fix it, but I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the formula. Obviously, you guys know I didn't have the right color, but the formula was like very watery. Like I blended it out and it was almost like too sheer. I like to have like a medium coverage on my foundations at least. Even though I have nice skin, I just feel like it gives me a nice base, you know what I mean? Concealer, there's nothing new here, just my Makeup Revolution, just because it's tried and true. I ain't gotta worry about anything. It's matte, it looks nice, and that's the end of the story. And then something that I like to do with my concealer is I like to take my sponge and my Fix Plus here and spray, do a little spritzeroo action, and then I blend it out. Next, I'm gonna go straight up into cream contour. I'm using the contour side of the Smashbox Studio Skin Foundation. This particular color is 4.2, and this is their soft contour. If you guys watched my best bronzers, you'll have seen that I mentioned this, and I'll link it up in the info card for you as well. Just going to apply it right under where my cheekbone is, down here as well. Sweeping my hair back, also up in here. And I'm gonna use the Kat Von D foundation brush to blend this out. And I'm just gonna blend into my hairline to give a nice transition. And then I'm using like a stippling motion here to just kind of like blend that out even more. And just wanna make sure you take your time, stipple this out appropriately so that it blends out really nicely and you have more of that like subtle contour. Okay, so now that I'm happy with my contour, let's see, I'm gonna go in with some powder products, and I'm using my ABH contour kit. I've used this like so many times. If you guys watch my videos, this won't be anything new. I'm gonna go in with this orange one, right kind of like where the deepest part of my under eyes are, because it just does some magic as far as like diffusing any circles, dark circles that I might have. So I'm gonna go really gently. You see that little orange? Don't worry, it's gonna look nice. And we're just kind of keeping it down here. We're not going too far up. And it kind of adds a little bit like more warmth to my skin. And I'm putting that right here on my forehead. Okay, so now that I've got that done, we can go in with this shade here, right here. That's the contouring shade, the darkest one that they have. And I'm gonna use my Morphe R7. Just kind of like dip that in there. Now you wanna use a really light hand because we do already have cream contour, which looks really natural. We just wanna set it in place and just kind of lightly dust everything. Alright, for that liquid highlight, I'm using the Elf Powder Glow Highlight. Now, if you guys saw my live stream on Sunday, I swatched this and I was really impressed with how like rose goldy it was. It looked freaking gorgeous. So I'm gonna just dab some on the back of my hand first so I can control how much I add. And it's like super metallic-y. I'm gonna take my little ring finger and just dab it right where I want my highlight to go. So you see that natural sheen, that's where it's gonna go. And we're just gonna diffuse it with the finger. You see how nice that looks? Oh, gotta blend that part. And again, like a little bit goes a long way. You really don't need to use much of this liquid highlighter. I believe it's part of their spring collection, so it's new. You should be able to find it at the drugstore. And what I always like to do is I always like to layer highlights. So even though we've got this nice glow here, I always like to make sure that I set the product with powder. And this is the Makeup Forever Pro Light Fusion, and this is the shade 02. Such a beautiful highlight. And I'm taking my Morphe M509, just kind of like dusting that on there. And this one is kind of like a gelish formula. So I'm just going in really light. I want to set that. And you see how I have that really nice like metallic kind of glow. So when the sun catches me, I'm like naturally glistening. Okay, so while I've got my highlight situation, I do want to kind of like contour my face just a little bit more with some powder, even things out. I've got my Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 40. You guys have probably seen I do this all the time. And then I'm going to take a powder brush. This is the Real Techniques powder brush. I've had this for a long time. It's my favorite powder brush. I feel like it diffuses the powders really evenly and I never have to worry about things going on patchy. And I'm just gonna stick to like the lower part right here and just kind of like buff things out, create like a nice shadow, kind of like give your face more of a sun-kissed look. So you see how that added a little bit more dimension in there? Now for blush, I'm gonna use this Pixie and Chloe Morello collab. You guys, I mean, I'm not gonna use all these colors. These are Duo Pan eyeshadows. This little trio down here is brow powders, and all of these are cheek colors. So this is Promise up top, Bouquet, and Romance, because her theme for the palette is romance, because you know she just got married. And I'm going to use the shade Romance just on the apples of my cheek, like nothing serious. Wow, and that's actually really pretty. Looks really natural on me. Now before we move on to lips, I wanted to go back and finish up my lower lash line. This is the Elf Cosmetics Amethyst Metallic Liner. I tried this the other day, you guys, and this did not move from my lower lash line. And I love purple, so I feel like yellow, purple, orange, we got a springtime theme going on. This is perfect. So this is definitely like a metallic finish on the under eyes, and make sure that you use a smudging brush to smudge it out before it sets. So that looks really nice. I feel like I don't even need to set it with a shadow because I know that it's gonna stay in place. I'm gonna go in back with my highlighter and do my inner corner. And this right here, this is a Morphe M506, and just kind of lightly tap it in there. So for lips, I picked a really interesting combination. First, I'm gonna go in with my MAC Cosmetics Chestnut Lip Liner, which is basically one of the bombest brown liners that goes with everything. And I'm gonna outline my lips and also kind of bring it towards the center, but leave the center bare. Next, I'm gonna use the Urban Decay Hi-Fi Shine, and this shade is called Dirty Talk, but look how pretty this is, like this metallic-y, like reddish pinkish. Isn't this cute? I mean, look at this, guys. Like, it's a perfect brownish, reddish, sparkly combo. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm going to use some setting spray, and this one here is from CoverGirl. It's the Look Lock Up. Ever since I did the review on the Vitalist Healthy collection, this has like really grown on me. I think it's really great. It like melts the makeup appropriately, you know? And then just kind of wait for that to dry. Okay, so what do you think of the final look? I myself think I'm very surprised and I love it. I think it's gorgeous, and I love this like blinding dewy highlight. I think it's bomb, and I think that the actual glitter liner on top totally emphasizes the yellow eyeshadow. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. Would you try this look? Let me know down in the comments. If you guys have any other video suggestions, please let me know. I'd love to hear them. If you haven't seen my last spring makeup tutorial, don't forget to check it out right over here. And also, please subscribe if you're still here and you're not. Don't forget, guys, I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!